Welcome to a spirit animal message. And before I jump into this message that I have started already, I'd like to give this message to those that are following me. Tomorrow, I have this intention to post a pick a card reading. I pick a card, and what I will be doing, and this is just to let anyone who's following me or anyone who would care to see how it unfolds. It will start out with a short, and it'll be on top of my normal reading, which I do later in the evening, where I will pick 3 cards of the spirit animal deck within a short, and then following the short, it will be each singular card is going to be a reading. So instead of the 3 spirit animal cards that I normally begin with for a bonus reading tomorrow, it will be a pick a card. So look out for the short, which will be posted. I am not sure exactly what time, but sometime within the afternoon, before dinner time. And then, which is like Eastern Standard Time, around between 12 and 2, I'd imagine. And then following that, like I was just saying, and not to be long-winded, but there will be a pick a card reading. So there'll be 3 piles, 3 readings, and based on which animal resonates to you at the beginning of the reading, there could be a message for you there. So and the reason why I mention it, I honestly at the start of this reading, was because while I was thinking of it, and while I was preparing for this, I was getting this insight, or this intuitive, or this, I don't know, creative action idea of this video for tomorrow. I was going to do it tonight, and then this intuition of, stay in your consistency of who you are, or what you've been putting out there. And then there was this intuitive push of have it be a video tomorrow. And then I was shuffling the cards, and Peacock came out, and I just really loved that it was following this idea, which was really about expansion and to bring more of something unique, and to add vibrancy to the channel by doing something a little bit different. As a person who's been working with mostly tarot since I was young, working the way that I have been since starting this channel, working through the spirit animal cards that I have been, what I love is that it pushes my intuition to a different level. When I do the shorts, I feel like it adds pressure to be as accurate as possible in that short amount of time. And then it's baby every day adding to that lifting of a weight, right? Because when we lift a weight, like a bicep curl, we lift a dumbbell, and that muscle gets stronger. And then when you are using your intuition on a consistent basis, that's the same thing as lifting a weight for your physical muscle. And your brain is a muscle. It's built up of all this muscle, and how you expand it and work at it. And I just feel how there's this vibrancy and this expansion energy, being playful with what stands you out from other people. What's that unique thing that is you, that you reflect into the external, that draws others in, I think of the person that is the star of your existence, something that where you are in the public eye, or this is about a person that is in this creative space and they're in this expansion within that creativity, being more vibrant, also possibly working on yourself in a way where, you know, your looks themselves are coming off even more beautiful. It's like you being you is blooming you into this vibrant, I think of the flower of life, you know, because this is a representation right here on my chest of the flower of life. You can't really see it very good because, but one second, I want to see if I have something right behind me. See, this is the flower of life. And I think how this, you know, this is a flat surface, flower of life. And then this is a sphere. So this brings the flower of life to another dimension. Because you can see it, it's if you can see it as I turn it. Imagine that's your energy and it expands like you are in the center of this energy field. And when it's in this whole and complete form and it's clear, you function in this more harmonious space. And in it, you have the you, the I in the center, and then the energy field expands even to around the world. And not just humans have the energy field. All life has one of these. And I feel like that's the unity consciousness. Or not, that's not the unity consciousness. I apologize. It just shows the interconnectedness. And I apologize if I misspeak and say the wrong things ever. I'm just using this intuition that I'm working to strengthen, right? Strengthen. Just like working your body, this is working the intuitive side of me. And I have always felt, and this is something that I've been saying for years, is that everyone is intuitive. It's not special to anyone, and to demonize it is silly because it's to ignore an actual part of the human being. Horse, freedom. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. When I first saw this, initially when it came out, I didn't give much look, but what stood out to the most is the band of horses together. And the progression is gaining your progression of how you're expanding or how things are going for you, going in the more positive direction that you want them to go, while also surrounding yourself with, or bringing in, honestly, this is what this feels like, bringing in, being magnetic to similar energies like yourself that are also in this similar space that you are. And there's going to be this beautiful camaraderie and expansion for yourself and those that you're going to be bringing around you or bringing into your energy. Something that really was interesting today for me, and this is I've been doing this channel since the start of the year. I had an injury, and it led to me going from a person that was going to the point of just way too fast, not grounded, to being sort of forced to be grounded and to learn how to be actually grounded in a more consistent way. And it led to me facing shadow parts of myself that ended up being these gifts of expansion for myself. And I feel like when you go through and you face things, face shadow parts of yourself, you do bring back gifts. And I feel like you've already brought back the gifts of who you are. And now you are bringing in others that will even mentor you. I think of that energy of being mentored. And also, and not where it's like somebody is above you, but there's this equality, because that's what I feel. There's this like unity and equality amongst these horses. They're traveling together. No singular one of them they may be in different positions. They don't see each other as less or more. There is no worthiness necessarily. If there's competitiveness, it's usually, about mating and all those, animus mentalities. However, in that forging their path forward and creating that path to, be liberated, be free. And that's what this energy is. It's freedom, right? Freedom, liberation, to be free, to be oneself, and to be so free that you actually have also come to the next level of that freedom, where you have now surrounding yourself with, friends that will be just like family, maybe even more so because of the way that you can connect to each other. But going back to what I was saying, because I don't even think I finished my thought process, but earlier what I was just saying is I had this feeling of an energy ball sent my way today of just positive energy. And it was something interesting that I experienced today. It just felt like this wave of positive energy was almost deliberately sent my way, and it really felt good. Personal choice. Close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they share? Embrace these qualities. And, I think about how we have higher vibrational creatures that may not live in the dimension of this reality. And I think about how dimension of reality is sort of piled on top of one another. And, we see beings sometimes that, throughout time, they're remembered, they're re-seen. And there's this question, are they real? Are these people just all having the same hysteria? I feel there is just levels of dimensions of reality where, there's a veil, there's portals all over the world that have been proven to, have this unique energy expressing from that area. So I just feel they are able to, they don't stay in this dimension of this density, but they can sort of come through in a way where they are seen. They aren't seen consistent. I feel it's just like a ghost. We know that there's spirits. We know there's that intuition between each other. So what I'm trying to get at is, I think of myself when I've had, and this is the Lionsgate portal. I think of that. We're in the Lionsgate portal right now. And I know for myself, I at one time had this incredible dream about flying through what looked like a building and going down. I went up first, and then I went down, and when I went all the way down, and I found this garden, and there was this animal there, and it looked like a lion and a dog, and it kind of reminded me of statues that I had seen in my life. So when I woke up, I just Googled what a lion and dog would look like. Just Googled the image. If there was any imagery that would show, that would make some close resemblance to what I saw. And what ended up coming up was the faux dogs. And I, in that moment, started to research them further. So you may be in your dreams connecting or seeing creatures that they seem otherworldly. I feel there is this message to say that, it's not just it's not just, don't dismiss it. Do research and find that connection and that knowledge, that wisdom, because this entity, if you are connecting with something similar in that realm, they're guiding you in some way. They're doing their best through the consciousness, through the great all, to guide you towards a greater purpose of what your potential is. Your greater potential, your greatest potential, really is what it is. Your greatest potential. Okay. So I was gonna do some tarot and see what comes out. And I think about how we just heard that door while I was in the midst of talking. So, and I think about how the Lionsgate portal officially is the most strength that it could be on the 8th. So I think about that door could be, and it just brings it, I just had this thought brought back to me after kind of being more dismissive of it, of, if this connection hasn't, or you haven't perceived anything in your dreams, it's going to happen. And I feel like that's maybe part of a message. Don't be dismissive of any creature that you see in your dreams. Go down that rabbit hole of discovery. So a starting position. And I have a pineapple here. My daughter and I have seen people grow pineapples, and today I pulled this thing out, and I'm going to attempt to grow my own pineapple. We'll see how it goes. And I love how this sort of reminds me of, like, I don't know, climbing the ladder. I think of the beanstalk where, the young man gets the beans, and then he plants them in the ground, and then the magic beans grow to this beanstalk. And, the young man finds these giants in the sky that, I feel like they wanted to eat him. I think there's a few different stories, but I just feel like maybe even connecting to energies of a higher vibrational space, bringing back wisdom. During this, portal time for humanity, even. Ooh. Oh, we're starting out with someone dealing with a lot of stress or worry, anxiety. You've been dealing with a lot of heaviness, maybe a lot of challenges that seem, it's like you're just like, okay, one more, and I'll just keep going. There's this, inner turmoil as to how everything is going to work out, because everything just seems so heavy, and the harmony or the path forward may not be exactly clear. You see how this young man is, moving towards the next present moment, carrying everything that he is dealing with, or has all these wands, all the things that are important to him in that moment, and going and forging forward despite, this heaviness that he is just carrying around with him. Like there's this, I sense and I see this connection with the two cards of releasing that which does not serve you, releasing the heavy energy. And it's easy to be that space and say that. To apply it in your present moment is about consistency. It's about facing yourself energetically. And I think about how we have this energy right around us, and how it can be scattered, how we can get energy attachments from other people, and how there is all of these modalities out in the world to help keep your energy body in as the best harmonious space that it could be. So just think about how, if we're made of energy, okay, if this is energy, I'm an energy, but you see a physical person in front of you, but it's all, science and religion have proved this. So both sides, the logical brain and the more, sensitive to the intuition, have both come to the same conclusion, that this is, a bunch of small pieces, very, very quantum sized pieces that don't even touch. So what you're looking at, this person, and if I could control my vibrations in this very unique way, I could easily, phase through something if I knew how to control my vibrations in that way. We are an energy body, and what I'm saying is that when your energy is not being taken care of, which I think of how we work the body, the physical body, to keep fit. And I think about how when a person is, say if a person's overweight and they're going to the gym and they're staying consistent, but they're not seeing results. Well, I also think about how we get very attached to who we see in the mirror, and not just surface. Our psychological mind gets in this habit of being itself. It's in this habit of being self. So to shift yourself from within, to perceive yourself in a more clear perception, and to have the proper permission slips from within, because it's the permission slips that are actually allowing you to see yourself in a new light. We can work on ourselves just in the same sense of that self-respect to the physical body. I mean, we see how doctors prescribe hypnosis to lose weight. because the mind is so powerful. The mind is so powerful. You could visualize yourself as the version of you. If you're good at visualizing, you can visualize yourself as the version of you you'd prefer to be, and maintaining that visualization and even perfecting it by, you know, going through it and maintaining that perception of self and meditating and connecting to yourself and clearing your energy, clearing your chakra system, doing Reiki even. You know, there's YouTube videos where people do Reiki, and I have had results where it has helped me. And when we're dealing with challenges, that is when we should face ourselves and connect to the great all. The universe will guide you. The universe is conscious. The entire universe, the air, the earth, the sun, the planets. I think about how they have matter, matter that they can't even identify in an entire way. And I think about how the universe itself is conscious. We are this version of consciousness, that there is this greater unconscious that we can work with and be as in a harmony as we can be, so that we have that it's, because no matter how much consciousness, you can have a lower consciousness in the present moment because of some situation or many situations that you're dealing with. If you're clearing yourself and you're really bringing your energy home to you and really being your, what is that? There's like a popular, I don't know, affirmation where this woman is even saying, I call my energy back from all space and time. I call my energy back. Calling your energy back to you. So you are your whole and complete self. I think about that main character projection, being your whole and complete free self. I feel like you're moving towards a space. You're leaving an energy space now where things may have been heavy. Things have been uncertain, causing anxiety possibly in some way. But that pressure, that stress, all of those things are in disharmony because there's something about yourself that is within. It needs to be cleared. Like energy needs to be cleared, you know, facing yourself, so that you can say, if there's something you're carrying around with you that is not even something that you need to be carrying around, you got enough maybe of the present moment to deal with whatever the present moment is, so that you can be free of this heavier, dense energy. What is your destiny? What is the destiny? Your destiny this is, you know, this could be a ceremony. This is also an energy of marriage. But I also think about the marriage of self to be balanced in that masculine and feminine energy. To be able to build and celebrate with all of life. The life is the present moment. I think about, this is a gift, right? They even call the present moment present, which is the synonym to gift, right? The present, a gift. This present moment is always the gift. So how best to utilize the present moment so that it is feeding your next present moment, or the present moments that you could potentially have moving forward. How is each moment gifting the next present moment? I think of, how we do the dishes, because we know in the next present moment in the future of needing to use a utensil or a pan, having that thing already clean and taken care of, that's a gift to your future present moment. So remembering that you are a series of present moments, and knowing that you have choice, you have this freedom of choice, so you're not fixed to any path. You're not fixed. Nothing is fixed. There is a more divine path, I feel, for every person, every energy, a more true to oneself path. And I feel like for those that are coming to this message, your destiny is to level up into that, to raise your vibrations, to be within that space, to be in that trajectory that is your destiny. To be in that love and ceremony of life. What is the distant past? The distant past. And you could have shit. This is letting go what no longer serves. In the distant past, you had been tapping into that passionate leader energy, passionate towards what lights you up. And you were in this more of that masculine, I'm going for this, the emotional side of it was in balance. And there was this focus, determination to succeed, to achieve, to be that leader of self. This is the wands. So I feel like that fiery energy, that passion, that excitement, that ignition in the present moment, what excites your living, what brings you that fulfillment. And I feel like there's this guidance within that, through the experience and insights that we have and share with each other, through that space of being oneself. So things may have been heavy. There may be some stresses, but I see how in the distant past you were manning up, man or woman, manning up to what you're going after, what you're projecting. You made a choice to lead. Okay, in the recent past, options started to open up. Different options, opportunities. Perhaps multiple opportunities, or I think about how we can put our energy out there. And what happens when we put our energy out there? We get energy sent back our way. These options, some of them are right for you, some of them are not right for you, some of them are best left where they were found. They all serve a trajectory. I think about how if we choose, let's say we're looking for a job, okay, or we're seeking an employment position of some sort, you know, based on which position you receive is that new trajectory. That's your new life if you stay in that position for long periods of time. And who's to say that isn't just your divine path, and there is no other path. There was no other path. But, however, if we think in the sense of choice and how we know that we were given that gift of to be able to choose our present moment, our next present moment, and knowing that there's different mindsets, there's different consciousness as far as what we understand and understand through consistency or through work and building of the self. So I think about a business mind versus someone that only understands money being made at a job. I am one of those people. I've been working with tarot on this platform. My intention is to be a paid tarot reader, but that's not my only intention. So I don't mind doing it this way because it's also a self-respect of my goals and dreams and building of myself and how it helps me. I've had head injuries. I've had concussions where I was getting headaches, blinding headaches, and I would actually have to get sick. And reading and writing on a consistent basis has helped me rebuild my brain after injury. And working with sacred geometry and meditating. I went to school for architecture and design, and I actually had gotten a degree after I had a head injury, and I went to read notes that I had written, and I would draw these beautiful buildings and designs, and when I looked at these notes, it was looking at something that somebody else wrote. It didn't even look like something I had written. And I actually had to reteach myself how to scale down a house. And if anyone out there knows anything about doing that, if you're doing that on a regular basis and then you get a bump in the head and you actually have no idea how to do it, and then you reteach yourself. And I thought about, when I retaught myself how to scale down a house and do the things that I was doing on a consistent basis, even though I had lost the memory of it because of this head injury, as I applied myself to those things that I had forgotten, it started to come back. As the memories of what I had learned started to come back. And my focus through reading and writing and being more expansive with how I'm using my mind heals me. I also I eat this mushroom called lion's mane, which helps me build. It's great for anyone that's dealt with trauma. I think of just traumatic events, because a traumatic event is similar to a brain injury. It's similar to getting bumped in the head. It just is, maybe depending on what the traumatic moment is, depends on how it's going to affect you. But it does affect you. And knowing that you put healing within to yourself consistently, so that you're not holding on to things in your nervous system or your brain. I think about how we've proven that the brain is healable. Some people will say that, once you have some form of mind issue or injury, you can't come back, or you can't come back to your full self. Or I feel like you can come back to even something even better, because when you're in that dark space working your way back, you're putting all of your energy, all of your strength, all of your everything to come back So when you do come back, you come back even better than you were before. They say, what is that? The setback. The comeback is always greater than the setback. So, remembering that you have choices and that you have ways that can heal you. But I feel like moving into the future, there's a right path for you. And I feel this message, this reading, is to send you ideas, perhaps, of how to incrementally add to self-respect tools, because they're just tools. There's so many tools to just, it's like taking a shower every day or brushing your teeth every day. There are tools to give your energy body self-respect, to clear that path within your consciousness, to be able to feel the resonance towards what is in a better alignment, a more harmonious alignment of self, so you can give yourself a permission slip. Because sometimes it's ourselves. We get in our own ways because we do not perceive that we are doing these things. We get attached to who we believe we are. We get attached to who we've ever become. So moving into the future. Moving into the future, what is the influences for you moving into the future? Your future influences. What are your future influences? I want to pull out one more card to confirm what has just fallen out, just so I can give some more whole and complete clarity. So in regards to this, for the future influences, your future influences, what is okay. And that's why I did that. Because what fell out first was the Death card. But then we see the Fool. The Fool after an ending. And then we see the Six of Wands, victory. So a death and rebirth of who you are. So you're going through a transformation space right now, a deep, deep transformative space right now, where things moving into the future are ending. There are endings moving into the future. Who you used to be. This is what I really feel that what it is. It's who you were, or who the world itself had built you to be from the moment you were brought into the world up until perhaps you gained this clarity and that self-work is put in. Who you had ever been falls away. And moving into the future influences is that you go through a rebirth. You go through a very deep spiritual rebirth, where you come out at the other end of it in a great new beginning, being admired, being recognized, being successful, people paying attention to who you are projecting, and you that is an exciting space for you, because you embody the version of you that can hold that space, and that this old version is falling away. So there's something that is ending, and I feel like it's what is going to also be part of the ignition. The ending is part of the ignition to the new beginning. Okay, we had a moment with my camera here, so, and it was funny, while I was fixing things, there was this message that I heard of best one yet. I don't know if that's true or not, but for any energy that I was picking up on, I heard that. So, ooh, I felt a wave of energy there. So, for the perspective. All right. Yeah, a perspective. What is a perspective to help the viewer gain clarity over what has been shown so far? What is a perspective card that can be given to assist gain the most clarity of what's been revealed so far? So, justice. That's the perspective. That's the perspective. I don't mean to repeat that, but I kind of, there's this mix of energy kind of going on as I think about the death and rebirth and the perspective of what that would be. That would be that the viewer gains justice over a situation. So the justice over the situation, I feel, is the perspective of who you truly are being seen by the world, and that clarity giving you that fool's path clarity, space, that path opens up for you, and then being in that successful space, things coming into balance. The green in his coat, in the coat, is standing out, and then the red. I almost feel like there may even be a financial justice to something, because of the green, there's this passion, or no, I mean the red, this passion and fiery, the blood. This could be something that had to do with your family in some way, a justice over something to do with the family. And perhaps, and this is just me sensing just this energy within the colors, and I think about that yellow, which is that connection, but the green was what was really standing out to me, and what makes me think of that is like abundance. Green is like that love, to be able to pour love in or out of something. It has that green, it's like that heart chakra energy too. And I think about how I really brought attention to my own heart, because this is, you know, when you put your hands, when you meditate, they say put your hands over your heart. And, you know, where attention goes, energy flows. So putting your hands over your heart like this, and that attention to the space, that's putting both of your hands right here. So then your mind starts paying attention to this space. and you imagine a ball of energy, you know, as you close your eyes and put your hands over that space, and you imagine that ball of energy expanding and expanding until you're surrounded by this ball of light, you know, any color you may choose. And that expansion expands that electromagnetic energy that expels from your heart space, raising your vibration. Justice from being true to yourself. I'm coming back to this family matter, though. There is a family matter that's what the perspective is. Because I said it, but I wasn't certain. I gave it that space and kind of spoke away from it, and then it came back to feel like there is this family. There's something within the family, justice, and there may be finances involved. So, an environment. What is the environment, whether it's internal or external? Okay. I think this is representing both. The environment for you is you're going within, introspecting, gaining the clear sight forward through, I think about how this individual is upside down, deliberately suspending itself to, I think about how when we're in meditation and we become still, and we find that stillness within to bring your energy to yourself and have that clarity to move forward. Cycle completion, perhaps closing out an old cycle of self. And that's the environment. The environment is still closing. You could be in this in-between space. And that in-between space is not an easy space to be in. And you never know how long it's going to last. One great thing is that all things, you know, have an ending and a beginning. There's usually an ending and a beginning. I feel like you're in this process of an ending, of cycles completing themselves, to give you that that in between space is where you create your next chapter of life. So it's this beautiful time. It's those crossroads of choosing, you know, either you choose again a way of life where you don't choose yourself and you allow life to happen to you, or you choose yourself and life happens for you. Because it's not choosing yourself in a selfish way. We all are a self surrounded by forms of self, experiencing consciousness, experiencing the consciousness of unconsciousness, which, you think about it, we are this conscious energy, and there's levels of consciousness, animals, etc. And we have this unique gift to expand our own consciousness. We are not limited. We can, I think about how putting that energy toward yourself can always put energy to healing yourself through daily habits and consistencies to give your next present moment the best chance it can have. No matter what happens, you being in that space of your future self, admiring and appreciating a past moment of yourself, putting that pebble of positive, progressive potential into the bucket of the possibility of you, your cup, putting that positive energy into your own cup. So your feelings, things, your emotional body. Okay, I feel, or I'm looking at this now, and I'm just going to go over this in a certain way. The Seven of Pentacles, you've put work into something, or there's been energy put into something where you're not necessarily seeing the full vibrancy of what it could potentially be. You know, the vines are creating potentiality of abundance. However, it's not harvest time. So there may be even a level of, is this even going to give me what I need to sustain myself? And there may be some stress and anxiety over, and it's almost like self-sabotage. There could be levels of self-sabotage over what is the most fulfilling in your life. Or you're feeling like there's so many things that are feeling like they're boxing you in or holding you in, that is putting almost a resistance towards greater fulfillment in your life. And you sense this, and that's what you're feeling. You sense that you may be holding yourself back from what's your greatest potential, that whole and complete happiness within the present moment. You're willing to put the work in, no matter it may feel that like, I don't know if this is going to work out energy. I feel like there's a, I don't mean to keep saying I feel, but there's this card, the way it represents standing next to this. You can unbind, you can become unbound from something. This is the Eight of Swords. Feeling limited, feeling like you can't get to your greatest potential, like there's just too much in your way. That's a message I feel right now, that that's not true. And perhaps it's more, what are the final results for this message? What are your final results moving into the future? What is, oh, well, came out that way, but it didn't mean to, so I might come. Well, the High Priestess with the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight has already gone on its adventure and brought back the element of earth. Your intuition is leading you to a grounded path. A grounded path where you're present in your life. You're present in your experience. Following your intuition, you're leading yourself to a more abundant foundations within the present moment. Releasing yourself from this type of energy, if this is something that is, there's this potential of being held back. However, moving as this final results, your intuition your path, that journey of the Fool, that ending, and then this new beginning, the final results, and the progression moving into the future. When you go through that space of self-reflection, and you go through all that, you're coming back. I think of the flower of life. You're coming back with that earth energy, knowing thyself. You come back knowing yourself better than you ever had before, and capable of a greater potential in the longevity of life. I'm going to pull, and that was 661515 I just saw on the timer. And I think about how that is a sovereign energy. 6 is actually a number of sovereignty. The number is demonized to close people off to an aspect of themselves. Demonizing numbers and thinking about how we are vibration. We are we are music in motion. We're all these little bits vibrating. And we have a numerical harmony, like the pitch of it in its most harmonious space. There is a vibration setting. And if you demonize numbers, you could potentially be sending a demonized energy towards yourself simply by viewing something as that. We are very powerful creators. A card to help. What is this? I had a feeling this card would come out. I create harmony. It's funny that this came out because of the words that I was just saying, and this card was really what helped me grow that mind surrounding that thought. One second. So, I create harmony. Let's see. I create harmony. 25. So 7. Also, 2 plus 5 is 7. Something I do. One of my weirds. I'm not the only one. I create harmony. The Greek philosopher Pythagoras believed in the musica universalis, or the music of the spheres, in which celestial bodies move according to mathematical equations, which produces a form of resonance or musica. If you search for the laws of harmony, you will find knowledge. Egyptian proverb. Every sphere was believed to relate to a number, every number to a sound, and with their interplay, a cosmic symphony harmoniously traveling through space becomes a luminous metaphor, which can be understood and applied in relation to I create harmony. The Hermetic principle of correspondence from the Kabbalion further elucidates this ideal as a way of understanding how correspondence works its way through the various planes of the mental, spiritual, and material universe and the realms of the metallic, mineral, vegetable, and animal life forces. Harmony can be found or created when we actively seek the relationship between realms of consciousness, matter, and mind by looking for the sustenance within each substance. It is the music of the matrix, if you will. In seeking to understand embodied cosmic consonance, there are several alchemical keys to keep in mind. Planets, organs, minerals, days of the week, and archetypes each have a relationship and embodied harmony of their own. The sun relates to this heart center, gold, Sunday, and infinite awareness of truth's light. The moon relates to the brain, silver, Monday, and a keen perception of layers of reality. Mercury relates to the lungs, Mercury, Wednesday, and authentic expression. Venus relates to the kidneys, copper, Friday, and the power of understanding and applied empathy. Mars relates to the gallbladder, iron, Tuesday, and will, manifesting into action. Jupiter relates to the liver, tin, Thursday, and the capacity of creation and infinite imagination. Saturn relates to the spleen, lead, Saturday, and is a reminder that anchored wisdom is knowledge quietly embodied, not loudly articulated. As we move through each day, archetypical alchemical awareness can be sheet music from which our life's lyrics emerge. The melody of the mind made manifest in this awareness offers the opportunity to relate more deeply to time and all that exists within the spaces of the terrestrial and beyond. With these keys, new doors open and the creative will is empowered through activation and resonance. The universal music you transmit can be experienced by all. Harmony found in your very own choir of conscious cognizance. I really loved how this reading really fell into this flow and alignment. Thank you for everyone who has been coming to the videos, and do not forget tomorrow, and I will not forget because I'm really excited about this, doing a pick a card reading where we will do 3 spirit animal cards, starting out with a short, and each one is a reading. So in the short, I will do my best to, and it will be in that storyline to say, based on your choice, there's a reading to assist on your path moving forward. Thanks again, and may all of the universe continue to gift you with clarity in the present moment to gain clarity to who you truly are, which is a gift.